Hey, how's it going there, guys? Here to give you guys my Harri deck profile. It's pretty much going to be short, sweet, and to the point, since most people seem to know what these cards do anyway. This deck is updated with new stuff from the Fighters Collection of 2017, and I would have done a a box opening if only they weren't sold out, and my lazy ass could not pre-order them because, well, I had to put money at the time towards other things, but hey, that's just life sometimes. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do the Stride Zone last, of course. Play 4, Masked Phantom Harri, these two beautiful RLRs, can't wait to complete this set real soon. Probably the better Harri in my opinion. It's just an absolute amazing card. It makes you get grade 3s back for stride fodder or re-ride shenanigans. It allows you to soul charge without having to stride, like just on place Vanguard circle, look at the top 2 soul charge one, that's great. You don't have to do all your triggers and whatnot, and well, if they were 2 triggers or a perfect guard or whatever, you can just put them to the bottom, create a stack, whatever you'd like to do. And I mean, the cost of a Soul Blast to call a unit with the Magi ability isn't bad at all. So yeah, all around, he's just a pretty good card. Next, I play 4 of the original Harri. Well, not original, but like the first grade 3 Harri. This is just, I like the reprinted art more. It just seems to have more like style to it. I don't know, but yeah, it's more of a powerhouse. That's all he's really here for, and he just has Harri in the name. Going on to the grade 2s, I play 3 Lapin, one of the best cards in this deck. So glad we got this type of support for Harri specifically. She has the potential to be a Darkside Princess, more chances of, putting in more cards into the soul, and she also makes great columns on both sides of the board, so you can either call something behind her for a quick 6-7k booster and still make great even numbers, or put a Paratrooper on the other side of the board. It's really nutty, and I love the fact that it's not restricted to grade 1 with a Magi ability. It's any grade 1, which leaves a lot of open space for just about any grade 1 in our grade 1 lineup. I only play 3, not 4, because you only need at least one of her in the soul at all times anyway, and you're constantly going to spam her out. 2, maybe, depending on how the games go and what your field setup's going to be, but yeah. Next up, MVP, 4 Darkside Princess. It's weird that she skyrocketed so high in price. Good thing I picked up 2 sets before she did, back when she was like 4 or 5 a piece. But now, yeah, it's definitely a great thing to play, especially at 4. Definitely something you want to see in the early game, get early soul, easy pieces in for your first stride turn, great rush, and yeah, nothing much to it. Next up, 3 Flying Paraton. Paraton's still quite essential in this deck because you can still do a lot of great plays with them. 1 Poker, however you want to pronounce this. It's good for the CBD matchup because that's just annoying. Stop blocking my stuff, 3 Masquerade Bunny with the new Harri. You don't need to play too many of these anymore. It just takes up too much good, valuable grade 1 space. You could even drop this down to 2, but I think 3 is just a good fair amount. 4 is just a little too much, especially when it's constantly soul charge or damage checked. It's like, well, damage check, it's gone regardless, but I mean, it's just a pain, and I'd rather be soul charging other things, and because of the new grade 3 Harri, it does get you grade 3s back for the simple cost of a counterblast, which is not hard to get back, so just playing 3 of her is just fine. You won't even really know that it is 3. You might even think it's still 4. No, it's 3. 3 Paratrooper, don't need to do it at 4, way too much. Don't need to do it at 2 or 1 because it's way too little, if not none at all. So 3 is just a good amount. You want to get at least like 2 of these into the soul. One of those is damaged or something like that, it's fine. I play 3 of the Unflip PG, and I would do Hades Hypnotist or Lydia, but I'm using those in other decks, so just to keep with the G format thing. I do have the Water Juggler. So I play 3 on counter charges because, well, this deck is quite counterblast heavy at times, and the Water Juggler because it combos well with the new G guard, and I'll explain that later. So I'll actually just keep this off to the side. Just ignore him for now. Last up for the grade 1s, I play 1 Egg Juggler. Definitely comes in clutch. So great with the Maja turn or anything with Paraton. Just great ways of getting out your PGs, Like if, especially the unflip ones, just to set up into the drop zone, get rid of any triggers, any other useless crap you don't need from the soul, like some grade 3s if you have too many, or a Masquerade Bunny, which is just useless, you know. So yeah. Plus, there's no a real definite draw engine in this deck, so that helps both on your turn and your opponent's. And next up, I keep forgetting her name, Moonlight Melody Tamer Betty. I play her seldomly, but with all the new support and stuff like that, especially with the pretty much costless GB8, this card is just absolutely nuts. And with cards like Lapin, you can just make so many great things with this card. Millward turns are just fantastic. She just basically allows you to make up an extra attack, an extra huge entire column with Paratrooper, all that great stuff. It sucks, yeah, she does not have the Magia skill, but you know, she came from the trial deck. And thankfully, I mean, the original Grade 3 Harri from the trial deck is one of the only like few Grade 3s in the entire game where their G clan actually has this the keyword in it before keywords became like the biggest deal. So yeah. Next up for the triggers, I play 6 crit for the Harri crit, of course. 2 Poison Juggler. Poison Juggler I like because you know, it always comes in clutch with those with the +3 to a unit. Plus, if you combo this off with Cat, it's still something that you can apply somewhere. It comes in clutch sometimes. 4 Prankster Girl Mirrorland because you want to be able to thaw out your deck ASAP. And 2 Sky High Walker because countercharge is great. There are actually times where I once got off like 2-3 of these in a single turn, like back to back. It's really, really nutty. And of course, 4 heal. I'm not playing the new heal from the Fighters Collection or the G-Guard, just a spoiler, I guess. Well, it's kind of late. We're 7 minutes exactly into this deck profile, but it's just bad. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Flipping up another G-Guard just to get plus 15k shield is just redundant as balls, and you can do so much better with what I'm about to tell you later on when we get to this the G-Zone. So yeah, just 4 heal. I mean, I guess you could play the new one because the art is really, really nice, but nah, I didn't want to put in the extra money at the moment. And finally, for the rest of the main deck, I do play these two. The combination of Cat Knight and Happiness Collector. I can't really see, it's pretty dark in here. But yeah, Cat Knight is great against the Link Joker, Narukami, or Kagura matchups where you just want something on your board and it can't be retired during your opponent's turn. However, during your turn, you got to be careful what you do because they could be defeat flared, Denial Griffin, Hulk Roared, all that jazz. So you just got to be careful. And against just about any other deck, Happiness Collector is great because it's just another free charge and a draw. You know, so all the draws in this deck help. And plus, she's a booster in the early game, so you don't need a swing for 7, 9, then 11 by itself. And the best part is, you know, because it is all in the same main deck, and thankfully it's sleeved in the same sleeves, you can just alternate between whatever you want during specific games. And finally, to get to the Stride Zone, I'm going to do the 1-ups first. Play 1 Amanda, because you don't necessarily have the greatest first stride all the time, depending on your game situation. And most of the time, Amanda just makes a great appearance because it's on hit pressure. It's like the first perfect guard out of the way, or unless they want a G guard, shit, get those G guards out of there. It's fantastic. And that's pretty much it. Plus, she has Magia, I guess, so I guess it's another plus. One of the Harri Stride, because making so many attacks in a turn is just incredibly nutty. 1 Fairfield, because legions are just non-existent anymore. And finally, the 1 new GB8, Scream Dragon Master Drawl Kimberly. That's such an odd name, but yeah, that's her. And yeah, her. So just in case you guys do not know, because this is an incredibly new set, came out yesterday. Her skill is GB8. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, choose up to 5 cards from your soul, call them to separate rearguard circle. And until end of turn, they all get plus 5,000 power, and they become Abyss Dragons for some reason. And until end of turn, well, until the end of the battle, this unit, the Vanguard, the Stride, gets a skill. This unit gets plus 10,000 power for every Abyss Dragon on your rearguard circle. So she's, of course, meant for the turns when you know, all your opponent's perfect guards are just utterly extinguished. And, you know, shoot, if G-Guards are still a thing, and they're trying to pump up their Vanguards with whatever skills they have, like Angels or Narukami and whatevs, well, they better do it very, very quick and well, because you're going to be swinging in for an enormous number. So yeah. Next, go on to the rest of the Stride Zone, which are primarily a lot of 2-ofs. I do a 2 Lunatic Dragon because getting a crit is really, really easy. Plus, spamming +2s to everybody is just really, really funny. 2 Millward because this is the first piece of the Holy Trinity. Just an absolute amazing pressure card and really nice art. Second piece of the Holy Trinity is 2 Mephisto. I did once play him at 3, but I dropped the third one for the Kimberly because this GB8 is amazing. It's just a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's necessarily good, but it's just a lot of fun. And I mean, 3 Mephisto was okay, but 2 is still fine. You just have other means of flipping somebody up. And the last piece to complete the Holy Trinity is 2 Prana. Prana definitely saves you in some games, especially during like Shadows and you go like Diablo or whatevs. You need outings to, what is it, Carnivore Dragon's still an issue, but +4 to the entire front row is still kind of annoying. And, I mean, if you just ever need means of retiring for Shadows, Prana can help you, just saying. And finally, to go on to the G-Guards play, one of this dude from another Fighter's Collection, he's just a means of getting stuff into your soul, especially the stand trigger, which is amazing. 26k guard or 31k guard is fine either way. 1 Sea Breeze because getting hand size is never an issue with this deck. You have many, many means of drawing. Most of your calls are going to be primarily from the soul anyway, so your hand's going to be swole and only building from then on every single turn. So it's never an issue to discard a single card. Plus, this card kicks off your poker. 1 Maja. Thinking of bumping her to 2 and possibly dropping Amanda, since Amanda is primarily a pressure card. Sure, it drops the perfect guard early, but because it never goes off, I mean, I guess she has that type of value, but she doesn't really do anything aside from that. And I am thinking of playing more than 4 G guards because it's just about I mean, of course, you can't play all 5, but it's just like you just want more options. So, like, if you had to go into 2 of her, maybe 1 Screw or 1 of this dude, and you didn't have to go in him at all, at least that can just be out of there. It's unflip bait for Mephisto or anybody else, and you can just get it out of the way, but I don't know. So yeah, just 1 of her. She's really, really good with Paraton, Paratrooper, Egg Juggler especially, and just get a draw off, and a free +5, it's fine. And finally, I don't know this guy, I never know his name, I just call him by Dragon. It's a Jester, Demonic Dragon, Wandering Dragon. Wandering Dragon? Yeah. And he combos off with the Perfect Guard because these Hades Hypnotist, Silverthorn, Lydia cloned Perfect Guards for the G series are ones that can be placed from anywhere. And you just got to discard a hand. It prevents your any unit from being attacked. So you combo this off with this, Soul Charge a card, get a stand trigger, would be nutty. Call this from the Soul, and this would primarily be one of your first of like 3 great searches for the stand trigger. And just call this out. This is great for like Spectral Diablo, Blaster, other Diablo-esque turns. When your opponent's Vanguard is swinging for too high of a number, and you're like, "Hey, I prepped a Perfect Guard too early for you." It's just great. Many people don't really like to do this type of play, or they don't like to play normal Perfect Guards in general. But you have to understand that you're just trying to deck thin, and you want to see your Perfect Guards, sure, but just know that there is a second way of getting a Perfect Guard out. And well, in this deck, it is extremely possible with him. Sure, his guard is just little to nothing, but he just gets the Perfect Guard, so he's nothing. Like, so yeah, it's just a means of deck thinning, and you always have it's basically a Perfect Guard in hand 24/7 once it hits the soul. So I mean, although it's not in hand, but you are able to get it out super, super simple over the cost of discarding 2 cards essentially and just a random soul charge. So yeah, this seems to work quite well. I just recently started teching this and testing it out, and it seems to work okay. I only got it off once, and it was funny to do it because my opponent was like, "What? Is it really the one from the hand?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's one of those OG Perfect Guards. It's just for the G series, and it has horrible art, and it's common." So yeah, and that pretty much wraps it for this deck profile, guys. I hope you all enjoy. Let me know what else you guys want to see, and see you guys next time.